Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. Bitcoin and the whole market's pumping again today, and a lot of people are happy about that. In today's show, what the Bitcoin price history predicts for February of 2025. Also in today's show, 1,067,000,000. Bank snaps up 11 Bitcoin in test trade ahead of potential client requests for BTC in Italy. And our feature story today is top US-based crypto exchange Coinbase announces Bitcoin-backed USDC loans, baby. And later on in our Ask AI segment, we will create a website in seconds, and we're going to compare ChatGPT versus Claude.ai, and we're going to declare a winner. All this and so much more on today's show. Welcome, Crypto Fam. I'm your host, Nick Toka. Thanks for joining Crypto News Global. Today is January 16th, 2025, and Bitcoin and the whole market is up today. Everything in the green, and I believe it's in anticipation of the inauguration of Donald Trump coming up in 4 days. Some good news coming out of the industry. We're going to go through in a little bit. Later on, we are going to compare creating a easy, quick website, a basic site, but a site nonetheless in about 1 minute. And we're going to put ChatGPT versus Claude.ai to the test. Right now, we're going to get into our technical analysis, our Bitcoin Market Watch. And let's see what today brought us. Things were looking pretty damn good when I checked a little while ago. And there we are. Bitcoin in the green at 101,000 and almost $500, up 1.5% today. Ethereum going sideways, down 0.5% at 3,382. XRP pumping again, up 7.5% to $3.28. Solana up 5%. BNB up 0.5%, going sideways. Doge up 2%. Things are looking pretty good today. Let's go into our crypto market cap, and we see Bitcoin is over the 2 trillion mark today at 2,012,149,000,000. Ethereum is at about the same as it was yesterday, 408 billion. XRP still killing it, now at 189 billion market cap. Tether still sitting there at 137 billion at number 4. Solana number 5 at 104 million, just ahead of BNB at 103 billion. Doge up a little bit at coming on to 57 billion. Cardano at 40 billion, number 9. Tron number 10 at $21 billion. And today's total market cap in the crypto industry is $3.49 trillion, as we saw Bitcoin over the $2 trillion mark today. And the Bitcoin dominance is at 57.5%, which is holding steady. Ethereum down again, 11.7% market cap. And it seems XRP is taking its market cap because it's now the highest by far I've ever seen it at coming on to 5.5%, 5.43%, impressive. And Solana at 3% market dominance. Now let's get into crypto bubbles. We have H-bar up 25% today. EOS up 13.5%. Fartcoin again up 13.5%. VET up 10%. IOTA up 10%. BTC's in a little bubble here, up 1.5%. Theta up 3.5%, Doge 1.5%, WIF up 5%, XLM fork of XRP up 3%, following the trend of XRP. Let's zoom out a bit to the weekly, and every single thing in the green except for the AI16Z, which certainly had its big pump a couple of weeks before that. And we've got HBAR again at 45%. XRP, there we go, 45%. Algorand up 43%. XLM 23%. So some big market cap coins really pumping it up in the past week. And if we zoom out to the monthly, we shall see again XRP up 30% for the month. BGB up almost 70% for the month. Fartcoin 75% of the month. XDC 76. AI16Z, this is what I was saying, it was pumping long before that. SUI up 7%. XLM 13%. It's about a mixed bag, 50-50 I would say for the month. And into our crypto fear and greed index, today we are at a 75 in greed. Yesterday was also 75, and last week a 50 in neutral. And we have approximately 1,360 days. Let me refresh that. 1,375 days until the next Bitcoin halving, which is interesting. This seems to fluctuate. This is countdown based on current block generation time of 11.61 minutes. So that time fluctuates. It's not always a block every 10 minutes. The busier the network gets, the longer it typically will take. So if we base it on the average, that's the right-hand clock here. It's still at 1,180 days, and approximately April of 2028. We currently have 1,188,869 Bitcoins left to mine until the last coin is mined in 2140. And until the next halving, we've got 170,438 coins left to mine. Let's go into our world ranking here. We have gold still at number 1 at 18.4%, Apple at 3.5%, Nvidia 3.3%, Microsoft 3.1%, number 5 Google 2.3%, Amazon 2.3%, and then we've got the Biddy right up their butts at 2.01 trillion, so just about 300 billion behind Amazon. Pulled quite a bit ahead of Saudi Aramco, which is number 8, silver at 1.7 trillion, Facebook, Meta at 1.5, and Tesla at 1.3 and a bit. And currently you can get 978 Satoshis for one fiat monopoly fake US dollars. And this number keeps dropping. This was about 1,200. It keeps dropping and dropping. The higher the price of Bitcoin goes, the lower this gets. Jumping into our U.S. National Debt Watch today, the good old U.S. of A. has grown about $5 billion poorer, at 36,360,162 million and change, and currently divided up into per citizen, U.S. citizen, it is $106,926, and per taxpayer, it's $323,045. It's interesting that this taxpayer dollar, 323,045, has not changed in weeks. So I find that very interesting. This page we haven't really talked about very much, but there's a heck of a lot of good information on here. There's info on, over here, dollar to silver, dollar to gold, of course the debt, interest paid on the debt, total debt, state debt, federal tax revenue, income tax revenue, pay tax, excise tax, charitable donations, per adult, 2,100. And if you go, you can certainly take your time and go through. This could be mind-numbing, just watching these numbers move so fast. But down at the bottom, there are also other industries you can look at. Specifically, you can go to gold, precious metals. You can go into, auto sales. I've tested a few of these out, and effectively, if you hit this, it's going to tell you who has sold the most cars in the U.S., and this is year to date. So, they have all the brands here, and, some people like to drive the car that nobody drives, but my firm belief is if they're not selling many, then they're probably not that good. Personally, I have only driven Hondas and Toyotas for the past pretty much every car, except I had a GM when I was really young and a Mazda once, but I definitely stick to the Toyota and Honda brands. I find them to be the most reliable, and they hold their value. But you can hit the things down here if it interests you. Gold, precious metals. It talks about who, holdings by country, production by country, by industry, the total reserves, etc. And of course, there's more info down here you can get. So pretty good. It's worth a look. And the most interesting is every day that we go here, the U.S. national debt goes up by about $6 billion. Here we've got world debt clock, and the U.S. isn't the only one that's, in trouble. So here we are, lots of countries, and I'm sure if you looked further, you could probably get a lot more country information, but we see that many countries, these numbers are just flying here, and it's something that cannot stop the way the current money setup is in the world. They basically have to borrow money to finance the debt, to pay the debt, number one, that's owed from before, which is $36 trillion. They're effectively just they're borrowing more money just to pay the interest on the debt. So they're never actually getting anywhere. And it's just a perpetual cycle, and there's really no way out of it. People say, just adopt Bitcoin, but that will effectively kill 70% of all industries. It'll kill pension funds, insurance. So many industries will basically go debunk, not to mention banks. So that's not going to happen. They're just going to keep printing more money and keep circulating more money, paying the debt, the interest on the debt with that money. Your money is worth less, approximately 10-11% every single year. And the money, in fact, is also worth less despite what they tell you. And that's partially, everybody talks about inflation, but when you go to the supermarket and, bread used to be probably 10 cents. I remember when a pack of chips was 5 cents, a pack of gum was 5 cents. Now, pack of chips is probably $2-3. So everything goes up. Bread used to be 50 cents a dollar. Now, even a baguette is, $3. Next year, it's going to be $3.50. The following year, it's going to be $3.75. So as the money debases itself, devalues, it's not going to have as much buying power. Bitcoin, on the other hand, because of its finite limited supply, is the exact opposite. So the more the government prints money, effectively the less the money is actually worth. With Bitcoin, there's only ever going to be 21 million ever minted, so the money, the coin, will never effectively lose its value. If anything, it's going to gain value because there's going to be more desire for it as a store of value, similar to gold. But gold has, I would say, Bitcoin has a finite limited supply, and gold has a relative limited supply. As we saw a moment ago, there's more gold that can be, every year they're mining more gold. It's not much. I believe it's about 2% a year that they're finding. But precious metals production year to date, so there's 5,000 more ounces were produced. You see the things that are more rare, platinum's more rare. Silver, they find more and more. I'm bullish on silver. I find that one day, because it's used in a lot of production, one day, the semiconductor industry is going to need so much of silver. It's used for so many different things that they're basically going to come for everybody's silver, and there's going to be none left. And I really expect that one day both gold and silver are going to pump. But they won't pump as much as the good old biddy because, again, there's a finite, limited supply of the Bitcoin. Let's get into our stories for today because there's some interesting ones, and I really like the second and third story. But let's start out with what Bitcoin price history predicts for February 2025. So it's going into the historical Februaries, and it's going to kind of predict what happened in the past and what we expect for this month. So as the Bitcoin market steps into 2025, investors are keenly analyzing the seasonal trends and historical data to predict what February might hold. With Bitcoin's clinical nature often tied to its halving events, historical insights provide a valuable roadmap for navigating future performance. By examining historical data, Bitcoin, including Bitcoin's average monthly returns and its post-halving February performance, we aim to provide a clear picture of what February 2025 might look like. So it's actually pretty small here. We have February right here, and it looks like historically there is about a 15% jump, and November is clearly the big month, the big winner, October, November, which is in line with the historical all-time highs as well. Every 4 years, the year after the halving, every time it's been October or November where the ultimate peak of the cycle is. Understanding Bitcoin seasonality. The first chart, Bitcoin seasonality, highlights average monthly returns from 2010 to the latest monthly close. The data underscores Bitcoin's best performing month and its cyclical tendencies. February historically has shown an average return of 13.5%, ranking it as one of the stronger months for Bitcoin performance. Notably, November stands out as the highest return at 43%, followed by October 20%. Conversely, September has historically been the weakest month with an average of 1.83%. February's solid average places it in the upper tier of Bitcoin seasonality, offering investors hope for positive returns in early 2025. Historical performance of February in post-halving years: 2023, 62%. 2017, this is February, 22%. 2021, 36%. So, and this is the year after the halving of the three halving events. So if we take the three and we average it out, it's an average of, that can't be right, 62, 23, 36, an average of 40%. So we could see anywhere from 20 to 60%, and 40 is right in the middle. Oh, here it is, all done for us. Average return is an impressive 40.74%. Each of these Februarys reflects the bullish momentum that often follows halving events, driven by reduced Bitcoin supply, issuance, and increased market demand. January 2025's performance sets the stage, while February is yet to unfold. The year began with a modest 7.5% return in year-to-date in January, as shown in the monthly returns heat map. January's positive performance hints at a continuation of bullish sentiment in the early months of 2025, aligning with historical post-halving patterns. If February 2025 follows the trajectory past post-halving years, it could see returns in the range of 22% to 63%, with an average of approximately 40%. Not bad. Where else are you going to get a 22 to 63% average of 40% return in a month, friends? Our next story of the day, I like this one. 1 billion trillion? $1 trillion bank snaps up 11 Bitcoin in test trading ahead of potential client requests for BTC. So the bank assets are worth $1,067 billion, and it just bought 11 Bitcoin to test. The way you and I do a test trade with Bitcoin, and we do, $10 or $20 just to make sure we get the same address, the correct address, which, by the way, I do recommend. If you're going to trade something, don't just trade thousands of dollars. Send $10 first. It's worth the fee that you pay. Make sure that 10 or $20 arrives. Then you know that your address is correct, and you're not going to muck around and send, $10,000 to the wrong address or something like that. Italy's biggest bank has reportedly made its first proprietary Bitcoin trade, as analysts expect the value of the flagship crypto asset to increase by more than double this year. Reuters reports that an internal memo it has seen shows that Intesa Sanpaolo bought 11 BTC worth over $1 million on Monday. CEO Carlo Messina says the bank conducted a small trade as a test to prepare for clients interested in the nascent asset. As a wealth management company that has the ambition to become like Swiss rival UBS, we have very sophisticated clients that may ask for this kind of investment, and you can't serve them unless you have a presence in the market. Intesa Sanpaolo is currently the world's 36th largest bank with $1 trillion in total assets at the end of 2023. Messina says that the purchase does not mean the bank will become a Bitcoin player, as it has very limited room to invest in crypto assets. We tested how to handle any potential requests from clients, but there will always be very tight limited and clients we need to prove they understand potential risks. Analysts say the King coin will hit 200,000 by this year amid expectations of a more favorable regulatory environment under the administration of Donald Trump. Indeed. And our feature story of today, top US-based crypto exchange Coinbase announces Bitcoin-backed USDC loans, baby. Top crypto exchange by trading volume in the U.S. has launched a new Bitcoin BTC-backed loan for U.S. clients. In a new announcement to the social media platform X, Coinbase says users will be able to borrow USDC against BTC with their new program. Fucking right. It's about time. Bitcoin-backed loans are here. Borrow USDC against Bitcoin without selling it. Rolling out to U.S. users, except New York, starting now. More collateral assets and regions to come. Powered by Morpho Labs and built on base. The future of finance is on chain, their slogan. According to an accompanying company blog post, users will be free to use the borrowed USDC in various ways. You can earn over 4% in USDC rewards, send USDC globally for free, and use it on chain. You can also convert USDC to US dollars one for free to cover major expenses like buying a car or making a down payment on your mortgage. Borrowing against Bitcoin instead of selling it can help you delay a tax or gain. So you're not actually selling your bitty, you're lending it out, so you're not getting taxed right away. The current way things are, if you sell it, even if you sell it and buy again 5 seconds later, it's still considered a trade, and they will expect that you pay tax on it. If you transfer it, let's say you did well in Bitcoin and you transfer it to US Tether, or you transfer it to the dollar, you will get taxed for it. According to Coinbase, this product is the latest in the company's efforts to help customers establish themselves financially on chain. Yeah, so Coinbase will now will loan you fiat money for your Bitcoin. So there was a time when two pizzas were 20,000 Bitcoin. Then, many years later, you could buy a house for 100 Bitcoin. Then you could buy a house for 50 Bitcoin. Then 20 Bitcoin. Then 5 Bitcoin. And there's going to be a day where a couple biddies, and one day soon, might get you a whole house. So this is a smart way to get around the tax system. So let's say you want to hold your Bitcoin, because traditionally if you hold for more than 4 years, actually everybody who's held for more than 4 years has been in profit. So let's say you've got a couple biddy, price goes up to 200,000, so there's 400,000. You don't want to sell it because you're going to get taxed on it. You feel like in 2028, the next halving, the price is going to go to $1 million or even more. You know, Max Kaiser, he's predicting 2 million this cycle. So you've got a couple biddy, and if you do, I'm very happy for you. And so it goes to 200K. You've got two of them at 400K. You want to buy a house with your 400K, but you don't want to sell your biddy. You give it to Coinbase. They will give you USDC in return at 4% interest, it appears. Then you take the cash equivalent, 400 grand that they give you, in exchange for the biddy, which it's just a loan. You buy your house. 4 years later, the price of biddy skyrockets. Let's say it goes to $1 million. You ask for your biddy back. At this point, you've got two biddies worth $1 million each, so you've got $2 million. You get your money back. You pay off your 400,000 original loan, and you're left with 1.6 mil. This, folks, could be life-changing for a lot of people, and something certainly to look at. If you look at the long term, I think a lot of people are going to take advantage of this. It's not a bad thing. And, the smart people, the smart money, use their own money to make more money. And then they use other people's money to make more money. For example, if you get to a point where you've got 10 million in the bank, or 20 million, we'll call it 10 for even numbers, then the smart thing to do is you don't want to risk your cash. You're at the point where you can be self-sufficient, and a 4% return, even at the bank, will offer you $400,000. 10 million bucks times 4% is 400 grand a year. Enough for most people to be very happy with and travel all they want and not have to work, as long as you keep your expenses down. Now, the beauty of that is your $10 million investment goes untouched. So you then become a lender instead of a borrower. And this is where we all want to be, guys. Make no mistake. You want to be a lender. You get that 10 million bucks. Look, you got $1 million bucks. That's 40 grand. Again, if you're frugal, and frugal doesn't mean cheap. Frugal means spending your money smartly. You got 2 million, there's 80 grand a year. If your things are paid and you don't have debts that are paying the bank interest, you might be able to get away with something like that. So once you get into the many millions, becoming a lender is a smart way to do it, and that's what the whales do. That's what the smart money does. And when you see, whale buys $10 million in Bitcoin, make no mistake, everybody, that guy's got, or woman has got, 100 million or 500 million or billions, and this 10 million Bitcoin is just 2% of what they've got of their nest egg, not 100%. They're the same way. I was just saying in yesterday's episode, put 95%, if you're going to divvy this up, 90% in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. I'm partial to Bitcoin and secondly XRP, and then take 5% or 10% and put it in some shitcoin that you think might have some big upside to it. So the whales, their money's in the bank. Their money, they're lenders. They are making money on general interest certificates that are guaranteed by the bank. They're making money on bonds. We're talking 4-6%, but if you've got $1 billion, 4% is what is that? 40 million a year, enough for anybody to certainly live on and make a huge profit, and that's without touching your initial investment of $1 billion or $1 million or 10 million. So hopefully that helps you guys a little bit. You really want to become a lender, even if you make it big in Bitcoin or in one of these little altcoins. Then, even though we know the fiat currency is being debased every day, every week, the money just keeps being worth less and less. Becoming a lender is very important. Your money's secure, and you're going to work less and earn more from that type of investment. Let's now move to our next segment, Ask AI. So we've done quite a few things with Ask AI. We've created together images. We've created lists. We've created charts. We've gone through questions with it, questions and answers. We've created some of these cool images. This was the first one I think we created together here. Quite a few. I did some test ones, and I couldn't resist. It got a little scantless, I have to admit. You have to test these things out. And I think I'm going to end up using these for one of my video headers. But it can get to whatever point you want. Certainly not, nude, because it won't let you. But, nano bikini, this and that. Anyway, that's not how it started. This is most of the stuff I've been doing is, all these fantasy and these Bitcoin promotional things. And I just had to test after getting some weird responses live with you guys a few days ago with some bikini stuff. I was like, let's see how far we can go with this. So we've done many different types of photos. many different types of questions for it. We've tested Grok, we've tested Jan, and we've tested Llama, Meta's platform. Within Jan, we have tested ChatGPT, and today we are going to test another two together. And we are going to put to the test ChatGPT against Claude. So Claude is a mainly used, it can be used for anything. It's another generative AI, but its best feature is in programming, so coding. So I've already gone, and because it could have taken a while, so I've gone ahead and gave some instructions to both Grok and ChatGPT and Claude. So first of all, Grok simply tells you there's many website builder platforms like Wix, Squarespace, or Weebly. They offer comprehensive website building tools, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. So you have to use an external website builder, which is okay. They probably do a great job, and of course they are AI, so they pretty much build them for you. Then I posted the same request into ChatGPT, and it basically started writing a whole bunch of code for me. And then instead I used on the sidebar here, if you click, you get a whole bunch of, explore GPT. So if you hit that, there's a million different GPTs that are kind of integrated right into this. So I chose website generator. And when you do that, you're basically in this message website generator. So then you give it a request. So I effectively typed in create a website for me. Website name is Crypto News Global. There should be 3 drop-down menus and also include a contact page. On one drop-down to my YouTube site and the address of it. One of the other 2 drop-downs should lead to my contact page, and the other to an info page about my YouTube channel, which should include the following write-up. And this write-up, I had ChatGPT do a write-up for me just by saying, generate a 300-word write-up on, and then I asked it what I wanted, which was basically, everything about my page. I told it to make it funny, I told it to make it professional, and add as many emojis as possible, and you see it did just that, and it did a pretty good job of it. Then it outputs to its editor. So for this, you have to actually create a login for this B12.io. It brings you right there, and then you can hit publish, and a few seconds your website's loading, and I assure you this only took a moment, and here it is, right? Crypto News Global, create your first website today. So this is their site, right? B.12, and it appears you can publish it straight from here. Now with this, you can then of course take it and edit it to whatever you want. But here's a basic website that you can start with. It didn't necessarily bring in the text that I wanted, but it did a good job with the contact form. Home, about. I like the way it's added in, actual things that are relevant. Services, news. So certainly this you can take, and then you can edit to whatever you want. You want to put your own images, by all means, It looks like they've got web design by B12 down at the bottom. Likely if you pay for it, they're not going to have that. But there you have it, a website in 2 minutes. Now let's go into Claude. So for Claude, what I did, again, you've got to just log into Claude. So Claude is an actual, full AI model, again, for free. And let's go back to the website because I was on the wrong screen. So here is the actual site that the B12 ChatGPT created, and you see it's not bad. And it created it in a couple minutes. The form is respectable. Everything about it is admirable, I would say. Considering it took 2 minutes, I've created websites in the past, and this is a lot better than what I could do in 2 minutes. It would probably take me a day to do something like this, or certainly a few hours. The theme is excellent. The photos are great. It pretty much did what we wanted it to. It had a decent contact. And the limitation, though, is you actually, if you really want to publish it, I expect the next step is the upgrade. They're going to charge you a few bucks for it. But it's a big time saver. I'm sure it's a one-time fee. You build your site, and then it's yours. You download it, finished. So over to Claude. So website is Claude.ai. Claude, I'm pretty sure it's out of France. And it is a company called Anthropic. So Claude, CLAUDE.ai. And so this is the coding site, right? So this is apparently the best to code with. This is what the coders will use. And I'm going to I've already put this in here and hit enter. And this is the web page it made for me. Very, very basic, as we see. But let's just post it in again. And what I really like about Claude is, you see right off the hop, it shows you've got the full screen. You type in your prompt on the left, and then it actually is showing you live on the right hand side exactly what it's doing. So you could use this for any type of coding, and it'll do the same. And if it's an application that it can run in this window, it'll actually show you the final result right in this window, which I think is pretty cool. If we go over to the right, there's tons there, right? And here we go, your channel, contact. See, this actually did exactly what we told it to do. And this certainly is free, right? You can now, let's see if this works. The YouTube for some reason doesn't work, but the contact seems to function, and the channel info is exactly what we typed in, so it listened. It might be opening in another screen, but regardless, I'm sure with some tweaks, and with some better, you could add some CMS in here. You could add some style sheets. You could add some buttons. The code, there's no secret. It's right here. You can do whatever you want to it. And down here we've got both a download to file, copy contents, or publish. Now, I expect when you go publish, right, publishing this artifact will make it accessible to anyone on the internet. Your chat will remain private. Be sure the artifact you're publishing doesn't include any personal and confidential information. And then you can go publish and copy link. I'm not going to do it. But certainly an easy way to go is, download file, then it becomes a local model you can run on your computer, and there it is. It's an HTML file. So let's actually run this HTML and see what we get. So here it is, YouTube. Yeah, so when you hit outside, when it's actually the web page, then certainly, all this stuff works. So I'm going to give the winner today to Claude. Even though, ChatGPT's got their fancy external website developer, B12. And again, if you go over to ChatGPT and you go explore GPTs, I'm not sure if you guys knew this existed, but this is just an endless list of anything you want to do with any AI model, and each of these lists drill down to multiple things. Look, you can go straight into Python programming, designer GPT, auto expert, trending, image generators, write for me, consensus, code pilot, DALI, and each one of these sections has the see more thing. So there's potentially hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of catered to and specialized AI specifically to what you want, right? Writing, productivity, research and analysis, education, lifestyle, programming. And then certainly on the left, there's, even more choices, right? So, there's this Synthesia creator, create Synthesia video presentation scripts from text. There's all kinds of stuff. So this was the website generator, and build and host a website, create a launch ready website, brainstorm, generate a website with a sentence. And these are all powered by the B12. Claude powers itself, and I think it kicked butt. I would definitely give the outright winner today to Claude when it comes to website generation. It may not be as fancy, but I'm sure with some further prompts, you could probably create a WordPress ready site. I saw that on the website generator for GPT. At the very least, you can take the HTML and create your own site if you were using some kind of CMS. If you were using Drupal or WordPress or whatever your preference is, I'm sure this can be handy in many ways. Your contact form, a basic contact, a basic about, links to your, account. The template itself is cheese. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't get more basic than this. But taking the information from here, using another pre-made template of your choice, of which there's many free ones, combined can give you a pretty good outlook. So if you want speed, you want to do 2 minutes and have ChatGPT, this is B12 or other website generators, create your website, by all means. Probably from there you're going to have to pay a few bucks to actually get the fully functioning published model. If you want 100% free and you're okay with doing a couple things yourself and taking a little more time, Claude seems like a fantastic option, and that's probably what I would use. I'm a little savvy, and I don't like paying for IT things. Just the way I kind of got into the industry 20 years ago. The cool thing was the cracked programs and the never pay for anything. And certainly on my cell phone I'll pay for a few things, but for computer there's always an alternative that's free. So I often will go for that. I'll pay for something if I think it's worthwhile, but a lot of times I mine with my PC, so pretty much everything you see, not pretty much, 100% of what you see in terms of my computer setup it's all paid for by my mining. So I didn't spend a penny on all this. I took the money, I bought another card, I bought another card, I bought another, I mined more, I mined more, I bought another card, I mined more, and so on and so on and so on. And then, it culminated into a pretty kick-butt computer and respectable and continual mining rig. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful again. Remember, everybody, when we talk about money, I always tell you money is abundant and money is everywhere. Time is what's scarce, so spend your time wisely. Spend less money than you earn. If you make a lot more money suddenly, save more money. Don't start spending more money. The younger you are, the better it is to start investing. Start investing young. Retire when you're 40. You'll be the happiest person around. And instead of waiting until you're 60, 70, 80, when you can barely walk or, your health has issues and you can't enjoy doing the things that you want to do, as opposed to retiring at 40 when you're loving life and you're in your prime. If the information you found on the stream is enjoyable, please share, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next stream, folks.